and this girl is like dancing around the bed, you know, talking to people or things that are not there all around the room for over 24 hours, you know. And yeah, just this overwhelming, like, the only way I know how to explain it is like a voice, you know. And I felt it throughout my whole body, and it just said, Michael, this is all you have to look forward to for the rest of your life if you keep doing what you're doing.
Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Podcast with me. I'm your host Moon and you are watching Moonlight Guidance. Namaste. In continuation to my previous videos on the glaring issue of drug addiction, which is prevalent across all countries, irrespective of which part you are, I thought to delve deep into it and also happened to get in touch with some expert already working in this field. Today I will be presenting to you one such gentleman who has not only been through such a phase in his own life, but also then gathered himself and emerged as a better human being after battling his own issues in life. He now works relentlessly in helping such people who are into substance abuse. He is a group counselor and a registered drug and alcohol technician, presently associated with Bakersfield Recovery Services, California, USA, targeting substance abuse amongst men and women. Winning awards is just a testimony of his passion and commitment towards this cause. Viewers, you may like and share this video so that it reaches to the people who are seeking this information. And if you are a new viewer, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon for future notifications. Now let's welcome Mikel Vaughn. Mikel, I have introduced you already, but would appreciate if you can introduce yourself in your own words. If I have missed anything.
Thank you so much, Moon. Yeah, first off, I just want to say that it's been an honor to be your friend and to get to know you a little bit. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to just be in contact and communication with you over the few months, I would say maybe almost a year that we've known each other. I work at a place called Jason's Retreat for the company called Bakersfield Recovery Services. I am a group counselor / registered drug and alcohol technician. I have groups full of men who are and women who are suffering from drug and alcohol addiction, and what I do is I try to just help them see what they can do to be free from the addiction and what their life would be like and what kind of life they want to have and how they can have it. And we dive into a lot of stuff, but I would say that my purpose, my vision on a deeper level than just work is to help people to have a spiritual experience that will solve their problems, to gain a relationship with a power that will solve their problems, any kind of addiction problem.
Thanks, Mikel. It's great that you are working towards your passion of helping the addicts to have a better life and to guide them spiritually. It's my pleasure to have you here. Mikel, before we get into the detail of this topic, would you like to share your experience when you went through similar issues early in your life? And how did you come out of it? If you are okay to share with our viewers.
Wow, it's a very deep question. So how I got into drugs. So actually, it wasn't so much that it was in the house. It was the friends that I was hanging out with. The friends that I was hanging out with, we were skateboarders. We did skateboarding. That was our that was my thing. That was the love of my life, was skateboarding. All those friends that I was skateboarding with, one night they were all trying a drug called ecstasy, and I simply didn't see why not to try it, you know. it seemed like it would be fun, that's what they were doing, and I just wanted to be a part of. It sounded like a great opportunity, and I fell in love with ecstasy that night. For a long time, it was just fun. It helped me talk to girls. It helped me talk to girls. It helped me feel less awkward. It helped me feel more comfortable in my skin. So I fell in love with ecstasy the night that I tried it, and then I drank alcohol and got drunk for the first time the next day. I remember looking up at the trees and watching the trees sway and looking at the stars, and I smoked my first cigarette that night too, and I remember just thinking to myself, like, man, this is it. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to feel this as often as I possibly can. And I did. It just got progressively it just got bad, I never thought it was bad for a while. Like when I was doing the ecstasy, I was drinking alcohol, and I started smoking weed like as often as I possibly could, and this was 8th grade summer. It was summer going into freshman year, so it was like 2 or 3 months before you got to go back to school, and that's when I started smoking weed, doing ecstasy, and drinking. And I went back to school, and I stopped doing the ecstasy simply because I guess like we couldn't find it anymore, or we couldn't find any good ones anymore or whatever. And I was drunk one night at a friend's house, and she went into her mom's medicine cabinet and took out some of her mom's prescription pills for anxiety, and I took some of those. Well, she gave me a couple of those, and anyways, I ended up falling in love with those pills, like sincerely, falling in love with them. And after a couple years, I was a full-blown drug addict. Like, I'm waking up in the morning and I need more of those pills. Every second of every waking hour was, how can I get more money to get more of those pills? So yeah, I was a full-blown drug addict, I think, by 16 or 17. Probably even, I was probably actually a full-blown drug addict, probably straight from the start. I just didn't notice it until I was like 17. And still I couldn't stop. But anyways, I could talk about this forever, but I ended up, doing meth, using a needle. I was just smoking meth, shooting up meth. I shot up heroin. Just hanging out with people behind dumpsters. Smoking drugs off of foil, and that's the kind of place that I ended up in. And the only way that I can put it, I started going in and out of jail because I started stealing from people, started breaking into places and stuff like that. And yeah, so I was physically separated from drugs and alcohol for over 6 months at one time. I was in jail for over 6 months. And, I had some time to think in there, and there was some people talking about in there who were older than me and stuff, who would talk to me about, I guess, like how life could be, without being a drug addict, And I went to church in there too, a few times, and it kind of gave me some hope, some hope that I hadn't had in a long time. So anyways, long story short is I got out, and I didn't want to be a drug addict anymore, really, but I still wanted to use drugs, So I didn't want to be a drug addict, and I wanted the material things, I wanted my own car, and I wanted my job, and I wanted the girlfriend and stuff. But still, my top priority was me being able to get high, without being a drug addict, without being addicted, So I got out 6 months and 10 days later, and I smoked some weed one day, drank some alcohol the next day, and then I ended up doing meth again. And, here I am back where I started, and I tried to control it for a year and a half. I tried to get high without getting addicted, and for a year and a half it just sucked, because I saw that I was failing, because before I just didn't have any goals ever, but now I was trying to put my mind to do something, and it wasn't working. The drugs, the craving for more drugs had control over me. I couldn't fight with my mind this craving that I had for more drugs. It seemed like the only solution to quiet what was going on in my head and what was going on in my body, the physical craving, and just all the anxiety and stuff that comes with life, period, really. But my mind knew that the solution was to just go get more drugs, for temporary, for relief, But anyways, a year and a half I tried to control it, failed pretty badly, At this point in time, methamphetamine, in my mind, was the only real problem, right? So, in my mind, I just needed to stop doing meth. I could keep smoking weed. I could, drink normally, drink like a regular person, not an alcoholic, and I could take these pills a couple times a week. I thought I just needed to stop doing meth, so I would tell myself that I'm never going to do meth again, and then I would end up smoking some weed, telling myself that that's okay, and then I would take some and then I would end up doing meth again in anywhere from a couple of days to a couple of weeks. The longest I ever had on my own self-will, I like to call it, is 56 days away from meth. I didn't do meth for 56 days, but I was taking I was smoking weed, and I think I might have drank a few times. After a year and a half of doing that, trying to control it and not being able to, I ended up relapsing on meth again in a motel room with a girl, and she ended up just going completely insane. She was talking to herself, or talking to people who were not there, for probably over 24 hours. And I think I've been that bad. I have gone completely insane myself on drugs. But for some reason, at that point in time, I wasn't completely insane, but she was. And I got to see that this is all I have to look forward to if I keep doing what I'm doing. And it sunk in, It sunk in. just remember laying in bed thinking to myself, like, this sucks. This is horrible, and this girl is like dancing around the bed, talking to people or things that are not there all around the room for over 24 hours, and just this overwhelming, like, the only way I know how to explain it is like a voice, and I felt it throughout my whole body, and it just said, Michael, this is all you have to look forward to for the rest of your life if you keep doing what you're doing, and I've heard that voice before, and I always tried to deflect it, with, yeah, but I'll just try again tomorrow, or I'll just try this. I haven't tried this yet, maybe I can control it, by doing this over here, or whatever. But whenever I heard it that time, that this is all I have to look forward to, I knew it was true. I knew it was true, and I knew that I needed help. And that was the first time that I conceded to my innermost self that I was screwed and that I needed help. That on my own I was screwed and that I needed help. That's where my journey began. Shortly after I stepped out of that motel room, and I called my probation officer. I was on felony probation, and I called her and I told her that I needed help, and I got into a rehab a couple weeks later, and that's where my journey began. I'm a member of a 12-step program called Alcoholics Anonymous, and that's really what has saved and changed my life. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, but there's some people from AA who came in to the rehab that I was at, which is actually the rehab that I work at now. But they came in there and they talked about using drugs the way that I did. They talked about drinking the way that I did. They talked about the insane behavior, and they talked about admitting that they were defeated and that they needed help also, and they followed these 12 steps, which is just about the inner work. It's about the inner work. It's about admitting defeat, coming to believe in a power greater than yourself, giving your life and your will over to that power, It's about taking a deep look at yourself, a deep look at your resentments and your fears, your behavior when it comes to other people, when it comes to sex, when it comes to relationships. It talks, you look at the things that you've done that have caused harm to other people, and you take a real deep, honest look at all of it, and you admit it to a sponsor. We have someone who we help us work through those 12 steps to recovery, and we take that honest inventory. We call it an inventory. We take that honest and thorough inventory where we leave nothing out. We don't leave any secrets out or whatever, and we admit all of it. We get all of our crap, into one place, and really we put it in a notebook. Every resentment that I've ever had. Well, this is my experience. The first time going through the 12 steps, it was every resentment that I ever had, all of my fears, all of my secrets, all of my conduct in relationships and stuff like that, and admitting all of that, right? And seeing it from a new perspective, which would take more time to get into, but so that is still what I do today. I work those 12 steps. I help other people work those 12 steps in my free time. And I still go to AA meetings. I go to at least 3 a week right now. Sometimes more, very rarely less. And I don't plan to ever stop doing that.
So, Mikel, I see that you have transformed your life totally 180 degree. The place where you were once treated, now it's the same place where you treat your clients. Tremendous change. Thanks for sharing the crucial details of your life. It takes courage to come such a long way and to share your personal journey with the world outside. And regarding Alcoholics Anonymous, yes, its presence is there in my city as well, called Alcoholics Anonymous Intergroup Pune. Viewers, Alcoholics Anonymous is an international fellowship dedicated to helping alcoholics peer-to-peer in sobriety through its spiritually inclined 12 steps program. Mikel follows the same 12 steps program, primarily focused on your inner work, the spiritual work. So Mikel, after listening to your journey, I'm curious to know how you got into the field of working towards this cause. Viewers, let's hear it from Mikel himself.
So what inclined me to help others was just the awareness that somebody else helped me and that I would not have been able to stay sober or be free from my addiction unless I had someone else's help. My first sponsor, I saw the kind of work that he put into not only his own recovery but into helping others, and I saw that helping others was keeping him sober and was giving him a purpose. So it made me really just want to do the same. Sometimes in a selfish way, like by me helping other people, I know that I'm also helping myself, but also just knowing how bad suffering can be, and realizing just that I've been helped, that I've been helped by these 12 steps and by a sponsor. Just why wouldn't I? I feel like it would be selfish and dishonest, and just not following, my purpose, if I were to not help others. But for a shorter answer is I help others because someone helped me, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for the help of those people who've helped me.
Yes, me too. I believe that we should give back to the society whatever we can. It's so nice to know that you have chosen to help others combat addiction at a very young age, and knowing the fact that you yourself were battling addiction at one point of time in your life. It's remarkable. We need more youth like you in this era. Thank you very much, Mikel. Viewers, we would like to keep this episode short and sweet. We will continue the podcast with Mikel in our next upcoming episodes. For that, please keep the notification bell on to get future alerts from our channel. Mikel's social media handles are mentioned in the description box below. You can comment down with any of your query or reach out to any of us in relation to this topic. Please encourage us by subscribing, liking and sharing this video. And thank you very much for your lovely donations. Namaste.